I met recently with the Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants in preparation for this plenary, and they told me about the experience of a woman who claimed asylum in the UK, was 33 weeks pregnant, and living in asylum accommodation near Gatwick. She was being given food that was unsuitable during pregnancy. She complained about the food to the hotel, and medical practitioners from her hospital also spoke to hotel managers, saying that the food was unsuitable for her and her baby, but no changes were made. She filed 2 complaints through the Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants on the food. The safeguarding team visited her, but it wasn't until 4 weeks later that the hotel eventually provided her with alternative meals. But this was just chips, nuggets and fish fingers, which doesn't exactly meet the NHS guidance on a healthy diet during pregnancy. So, just briefly, are you concerned about the difficulty that pregnant asylum seekers can have in accessing appropriate food?
So thank you for sharing that very powerful case study, which really illustrates the challenges that women in that situation, pregnant women, are facing, and families in asylum accommodation, in hotels in London, because of poor access to the diet that they need, to the medication that they need, to the support that they require. And I'm afraid that example is not an isolated example. There are other examples that our organisation comes across, that other organisations have come across, that indeed have been reported in the media, of people with medical conditions living in asylum hotels not being able to access the support that they require. There are huge challenges in accessing medical support, in accessing good quality food, in accessing basic toiletries, being able to access basic medication that can be bought over the counter. And I think this reflects how the quality of support available to those living in asylum hotels is falling well short. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some asylum hotels where people are able to access what they need, but there are far too many where they're unable to. Indeed, where individuals staying there are threatened that if they don't come back by a certain time, security guards saying to them, we will speak to the Home Office and we will ensure your asylum claim is withdrawn. Inappropriate behaviour towards women and indeed families in hotels. So this is a real challenge, and I'm very glad that you've highlighted it.
Thank you. Now, I know the Refugee Council's been raising the alarm that pregnant women and their babies in the asylum system are put at risk by Home Office policies and procedures. Now, I understand that Migrant Help is the main point of contact for people seeking asylum to raise issues like this. Now, you mentioned earlier that that Migrant Help were not providing good quality legal help. Can you, again very briefly, because I'm quite tight for time, can you just outline your view on the level of practical support that Migrant Help is providing to asylum seekers in cases like this?
Well, the contract that Migrant Help has with the Home Office is not to provide kind of OISC registered higher quality legal advice. It's essentially to provide basic advice and guidance to an individual in the asylum system. But those that we work with and other organisations report that accessing that telephone helpline is really challenging. Individuals can be left on the phone, or their legal advisors, I should add, for up to 2 hours waiting to speak to someone. Migrant Help recognised that the way this contract was constructed was not to meet the actual demand that they're now having to deal with. So I would say that contract is not fit for purpose, and it really needs to be looked at and changed and radically overhauled when it's up for renewal.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid I'm out of time. I've got no further questions, but thank you.